Hey, Claudia Nelson here, eXp Realty in Woodbridge, Virginia. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about marketing on a dime, marketing on a budget. So when you are first getting into the industry, or let's say you had a tough year, or you're during this corona crisis, and you're trying to save some marketing budget, I want to talk to you a little bit about how I have used some inexpensive ways of market myself and helping others to being successful as well. When I first got into real estate, I was lucky. My ex-husband at that point worked for a builder. I worked part-time real estate. I worked a full-time job, but I was able to get some leads from him. Anyone that wasn't able to purchase or wasn't able to go to the price range that his community was selling, and they wanted to be in a certain area, he was able to send them to me. So that was lucky. Of course, not everyone has that option. Not everyone has that connection. So besides that, once I started doing real estate full time, there's a few things that I've done that I would say set me apart from a lot of other agents. You can't just sit there and wait for clients to come to you. You actually have to go out there and try to get those clients. And the first thing I did when I started real estate, I created some inexpensive flyers. And I went door to door in my neighborhood, told people, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Now, looking back at it, I could have done this way more sophisticated. I just did flyers to promote myself at that point. But honestly, looking back at it now, what I would tell people, you want to go to a neighborhood and offer up information. That way, those people know that you're a real estate agent. Those people know that you're trying to help them. You give them information. You give them a little bit of information, but you don't give them all the information so that they have to contact you down the road. You also want to make sure you get their contact information so you can stay in touch with them. You can provide them with newsletters. You can provide them with listings down the road. And maybe you offer them a home valuation, whatever it is. So when I used to do that for a little bit, I got more and more intelligent about it. I figured out more and more what works and what doesn't work. So I went door to door and I kind of offered home valuations. I also ran into people that are renting. So at that point, I talked to them about first-time home buyer programs. I always kind of talk to them about what is it that I can help them with? Where can I provide, where can I be of service? Where can I provide them with information that they don't have? Whether it is about neighborhood values, whether it is about the first-time home buyer programs. So I always kind of try to connect with those people. The cost of creating flyers, fairly inexpensive. You don't have to be fancy. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Just really do it. Print a flyer in black and white. Make sure it has all your disclosures. Make sure it follows the marketing guidelines. But just print it out and start. Do as many as you can. Gives you good exercise and it gets you into the community. It lets people know what you're doing. When I first started doing it, I set myself a goal, and I set myself a goal of how many new contact information do I get every day. And I did 10 new contacts per day initially. And that worked very well. Sometimes it took more time. Sometimes it went by really, really quickly. It also kind of depends on what time of the day you're doing it. If you're doing it while everyone is at work, now during this corona time, it's actually a good time to knocking on doors because everyone is at home. But right now, if I would do it, I would do it with a different approach. I wouldn't want to try to sound obnoxious. I would try to kind of do it in, hey, I'm the neighborhood real estate agent, and I'm offering assistance for if you have any questions about real estate, any questions about evictions, any questions about mortgage forbearance, any questions about whatever it is, and I would try to offer something like that. So that's a very inexpensive way of connecting with people. There's another way of really inexpensively connecting with people, and again, during this Corona crisis, it might not be ideal, but if you're looking at it any other time, if you are somewhere where there's a lot of commuters. So I'm in Northern Virginia. We do have lots of commuters, and I would go out to a commuter lot and while people are waiting for their bus, hand out my business card and, hey, if you know anyone that's interested in real estate, that needs a realtor, I'm a real estate agent. I would hand out flyers about local events and making sure I provide them with my real estate information. I would hand out flyers to local real estate activity, whatever it is. I would provide them with information. Sometimes, of course, I got told, you're not allowed to do that here. There's no solicitation. I always just said, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And I haven't really gotten in trouble, but you just got to be careful what you're doing, where you're handing out information. If you're going door to door in an HOA and it says no solicitation, just be careful. I generally went to neighborhoods that said no solicitation. I just didn't go on, I just didn't knock on doors where they actually had the sign no solicitation. But you just got to be very, very careful when you're doing it. And sometimes you're getting a call from the HOA office. If they call me, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I had no idea, and I just left at that point. But it just gets your name out there very, very inexpensively. Again, flyers don't cost a whole lot. You can print them, just go to Office Depot, Staples, print it out, and you're done. And then again, you're out walking, you're getting some exercise, and you're out connecting with the community. So that's one way of inexpensive marketing. Now, that does take a lot of time. And it's not everybody's cup of tea to kind of approaching strangers like that. I also did a lot of online marketing. So when I first started, Facebook wasn't as big what it's now. Initially, I did a lot of blog posts, I did a lot of videos, a lot of neighborhood information, and I'm still doing that right now. But I do have to say, right now I'm focusing more on Facebook marketing, on free marketing, and that's on Facebook. Yes, you can do the paid marketing, that's perfect, but right now we're talking about how you can use social media platform to get your name out. And there are several ways of doing it. First of all, if you are part of any yard sale groups, you can post a lot of stuff in yard sale groups, and you're getting a lot of people that are reaching back out to you. You just have to be careful when you're doing that, because a lot of the time, some of those groups will not allow real estate postings. Some of those groups might not allow certain links, so you have to be very careful when you are joining some of these groups. Just read the rules and regulations. If you're not following those terms, then they might kick you out. But again, if you're not if you're not doing it right, if you're not getting kicked out, you're not doing it right if you're not getting banned at some point, because you do want to get your name out there. You do want to market yourself, and initially you don't want to pay a whole lot of money to get your name out there. You can do it inexpensively by using some of those Facebook groups. You can also start your own Facebook group. So for me, I started a Facebook group about what's happening in my community, what's happening in Woodbridge, Virginia. And I keep posting all kind of information. Most of the time it's just reposting from what I see from other people, sharing about the community, and newspaper articles or whatever it is. I'm just sharing that information, and I do get a good amount of people that are following that particular Facebook page. So if I do have something real estate related that I'm sharing, they all know that I'm a real estate agent as well. And again, a lot of the time I'm not sharing, hey, this is a listing, or hey, come to my open house. A lot of the time I'm sharing valuable information. For example, I'm creating blogs about what to do on Valentine's Day. Where are the best Christmas lights in the in town? Where can you watch Super Bowl? Where can you watch when they had the World Cup in soccer? Where can you watch soccer games? Where can you watch certain things? So I would always kind of provide them with information. Doesn't really cost me a whole lot. And right now with the website that we have in KV Core, you can literally write a blog in KV Core and just blast it out and have people come back to you. I happen to have a WordPress blog site, which I'm using quite often, where I'm doing all kind of blogs that might be beneficial to the area, and will get my name out there without really marketing too much, with providing information so that they can come back to me at some point. So those are other inexpensive ways of marketing without a big budget. You can give out free information. Like I said before, information about one good that was very, very popular was wineries in the area. Granted, right now with COVID-19, none of those wineries are open, but when it's all coming back, a lot of people actually Googled that information. Where can you go for Mother's Day? This weekend is Mother's Day. Granted, right now, again, we're not in the time where you can go anywhere, but you could do a blog about Mother's Day takeout. What can you do for Mother's Day? What can you do for certain things? It just gives you an inexpensive way of marketing to clients, marketing to potential clients, where they get your information, and if they need something, they can reach out to you at any point. But more so than providing free information, I always think the best way is you want to get the information from prospective clients. So you don't want to leave it up to them to contact you. You want to be the one that contacts them. So a lot of those information that I created, you can do it so that they have to sign up and provide you with their information, or you just give it away for free. That's really completely up to you. Most of the time I just give it away for free and have them sign up afterwards, or when I'm looking at marketing listings, marketing anything to specific buyers, I have them register fairly quickly in order to capture their information and follow up with them at that point. So that way, again, you are in control of kind of leading the conversation. But you always have to be careful. Sometimes with some of those online leads, some people are they're just browsing. Some people are not ready to do something immediately. One of my favorite posts is first-time home buyers, how to capture first-time home buyers. And a lot of the time when you go on Facebook, you can post a property and you can show them how they can purchase a home for the same amount what they're renting for without any down payment. So you kind of have to see what are the loan programs in your area, what are the zero down loan programs in your area. And when I post something like that with a nice picture to a house, and I generally use the rental price for that particular property or an approximate rental price, I will get quite a lot of messages, quite a lot of buyers that are interested. Some will say, hey, I'm looking to rent, and others are like, can you show me how I can purchase a house without any down payment? So that's a really, really good way of getting in touch with first-time home buyers. You can schedule an online, right now, especially in this COVID-19 area, you can schedule fairly inexpensive, connect with a lender and do a first-time home buyer seminar, first-time home buyers training. Once we're allowed to do to go out again and do actual meetings, you can host a first-time home buyers event, and again, you can market that quite easily and really inexpensive. You don't have to do a whole lot. It really should not cost you a lot. You can hook up with a lender. You ask the lender to provide the room or food, and have the lender talk about it, but you will provide the marketing. You'll get buyers, first-time home buyers to the event. You can do a lot of online marketing, and besides the online marketing, I also am a big believer in offline marketing. Now, if you're doing that in the non-COVID area, then you kind of go to apartments that are close by to the event where you're holding it. You just have to be careful. Most of the time with apartments, they're telling you no solicitation. What I normally do, I sometimes mail it. I sometimes just stick it on their door if I can access the doors. A lot of apartment buildings have like where you can access it from the outside. I just kind of stick the flyers on their door, and that actually gets me generally more responses than online marketing, because there's so much first-time home buyer events going on that a lot of the time people don't pay attention to it anymore if you're doing it online. So I tend to get a little bit more success if I'm doing it offline versus online. But again, right now during the COVID-19 area, you do have to do it online, and there are still a lot of people where you're getting their attention again. And because interest rates are so low right now, you have their attention, and they really don't have anything else to do. So a lot of the time, if someone is thinking about it in some way, there's a good chance that they will be reaching out to you and attending any of your first-time home buyers seminar, first-time home buyers training, if you're doing something online. Again, doesn't really cost you much. It's just some of the marketing, some of the connecting with the lender, and the lender might be able to help you with a lot of marketing as well. You can reach out if you're doing the free marketing over Facebook groups. It really doesn't cost you, or you can do some small paid marketing as well. So there's a good amount of marketing that you can do without really dishing out too much money, and in some cases really hardly any money. If you are just getting started or you have questions on how to save your marketing budget and not spend out a whole lot of money on marketing but still being successful, just give me a call, 571-446-0002, and I'm happy to help. Friend me on Facebook or on Workspace, and I'm here to help. Take care. Bye-bye.